G'day guys, I'm Chris Dore, and on today's lockdown lesson we're going to teach you how to fluff around less and get your fly in front of the fish better in a more organised fashion. Now as a guide, one thing that I really don't like seeing is people spending 4 minutes trying to get their fly back onto the rod once they've finished casting before we move upstream. The line's wrapped around the rod tip, it's caught around the reel, it's an absolute mess. And then in the meantime there's a fish sipping just up ahead of us that we can't really do anything about. Now in New Zealand we tend to use longer leaders than they do in a lot of other places in the world. Often 10 to 20 foot leaders are the norm. On a 9-foot fly rod, if I attach my fly to my keeper hook, then I'm going to have most of my leader and the rod line connection somewhere down through there, which isn't great for getting the fly off quickly and getting a cast. I've got to pull a lot of line off the reel, I've got to pull line directly from the rod tip, point loading it and risking breaking it. Or there's another tactic which I tend to teach all my clients at the start of the trip so we can enjoy a more tangle-free day. Now firstly, when you're winding your line in, keep your rod hand loose. If I grip my rod tight, the rod tip's going to bounce, the line's going to wrap round and round and round the rod tip, and we're going to be tangled. So wind it through. When you've got just enough line outside of the rod tip at the end, run your hand down your leader. Now this is also a time where I check for any nicks, knots or anything that could affect the leader's integrity for the next fish. Running my hand down the leader, everything's fine. I also check my fly now. Is the hook burred? Is it still looking good? Is there any algae, weed or debris on it? No, it's quite cool. Now what I'm going to do is now attach my fly to one of the rings up towards the tip of my fly rod. Now on a faster, stiffer action rod with a more solid tip, I can attach it within maybe four rings away from the tip. It's not going to bounce as much. However, if I was fishing a very softer rod or medium action rod with a lot of tip bounce, I would send it further down to the stiffer section to avoid it wrapping around. Now again, I'm running my hand down the leader, maintaining tension from the fly, and wrapping that leader around my reel. Now this is where I keep my hand relaxed and gently tighten it up. Easy, right? Very easy. Now the benefit of this tactic is that when I'm on the water, I can get my fly off in super fast time. I have just enough fly line outside my rod tip to load the rod for quick short casts, especially if you're on backwaters or still waters and you find the fish cruising towards you. You don't have a lot of time to mess around and pull that line off. It's got to be smooth, fluent and there. Check this out. By pulling the line backwards, the leader backwards and downwards over the reel, I free it. And then by holding the rod downwards, I can let my line, my leader go, and then dangles harmlessly over the river. With a gentle tap, not a wiggle, just above the butt section, the fly falls off. And immediately, I go into quick back cast and forward cast. Because chances are, your fly's dropped into very shallow water, which is often algae affected, where all the debris washes up, and you don't want a beaded fly, or a dry fly for that matter, mixing in amongst that. So just think, attach the fly to the rings up near the tip, maintain tension on the leader as you check it and bring it down around the reel. Keep your hand relaxed as you wind that line on, and to remove it, pull the leader backwards over the reels and downwards, tilt your rod down, give it a tap, and then that all-important back cast and forward cast. Now I'm Chris Dore, and that's a guide's tip to hopefully get you guys into more fish with less cursing this season. Take care.